Hello folks, and welcome back to the Vision of Veritas here. So last night I watched the debate, Oz versus Fetterman. I don't know if any of you got a chance to do that, but the only word that I can think to use to describe what I witnessed and what a lot of people witnessed was a train wreck. And it's not just because of Fetterman's inability to answer and comprehend questions. I also really didn't like the fact that Oz is a lukewarm Republican, just like Pat Toomey. The unfortunate part of this is Oz has the makings of a rhino, and collectively we have to stop that. That's a huge problem that is absolutely not what our nation needs. But of the two choices, I mean, it's obvious who I do support, and there's a lot of valid reasons for that. Now, I actually am going to go through the whole debate here. Yes, it is going to be long, but I think it's really important that we do that. I want to preface this by stating my commentary will have absolutely nothing to do with the effects and the aftermath displayed with regards to Fetterman's stroke. On a purely human level, it's very unfortunate what happened to him. On a policy level, his policies are just as bad now as they were prior to his stroke. So my commentary will have nothing whatsoever to do with his stroke. Now, when we watch this here, I truly believe that Fetterman as a whole doesn't know the answers to some of these questions. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can tell when he gets a little flustered, and then it's almost like a default. He defaults to kind of throwing a cheap shot out at his opponent, Oz. And usually it's a personal attack. Now, as far as political debates go, I'm all for attacking your opponent as long as it's about the politics of the opponent. That's what these debates are for. But I have a problem with the cheap shots because you don't know the answer to the question, or you simply don't understand the question. So you default to an ad hominem answer. And it doesn't do anybody good. It makes you look like a moron.
Continuing with you, Mr. Fetterman, your opponent has criticized Democratic spending, as you heard. Has the Biden administration overspent? And if so, where do you think spending should be cut? You have 60 seconds.
No, here's what I think we have to fight about inflation here right now. That's what we need to fight about, inflation. Right now, because it's a tax on working families, and Dr. Oz can't possibly understand what that is like. He has 10 gigantic mansions. We must push back against corporate greed. We must make sure that we're also pushing back against price gouging as well, too. We also be able to make more in Pennsylvania and make more in America. When he had a choice to make his merchandise, the Oz label is on, he made it all in China. Who can you believe that can fight against inflation and pushing back against corporate greed, or somebody that is choosing working in China versus over American workers?
All right, I will allow a 15-second rebuttal to his comments that you have been making things in China. Mr. Oz.
I've been trying to talk about policy issues with the people of Pennsylvania. As a doctor, I listen to their ideas and I want to talk about them. When John Fetterman brings up houses, the irony is he didn't pay for his own house. He got it for $1 from his sister. And he hasn't been able to earn a living on his own. He's lived off his parents. So it's not a topic that we should be debating on the stage. We should be talking about crime and inflation, the issues that are hurting Pennsylvanians that they're talking about at their kitchen table.
No, that's like he got his Pennsylvania house from his own inlays from $1.
Yes, Fetterman, any inflation is a tax on working families, but in reality, your personal attack against Oz is pointless because, frankly speaking, you've never had to work, you've never had to hold down a job. Great, I'm glad the guy has 10 gigantic mansions. He worked for what he has. That makes him more in line with the American dream than you could ever be. You're attacking a man who is wildly successful when you haven't done a damn thing. We've already established the fact within the debate that you've lived off of the backs of your family for the entirety of your life. We've established the fact that you didn't even buy your own home in Pennsylvania. It was given to you for $1, which subsequently means you've never held a mortgage. Oz has. If Oz owns 10 homes, regardless of whether or not they're mansions or normal family homes, he would have had a mortgage at some point unless he paid for them outright. But I would venture a guess that he's held a mortgage. That alone makes him more in tune with the everyday American than you could ever be. You also can't make the claim of corporate greed and price gouging without understanding how a business is run. Secondly, you can't make that claim without actually looking at the businesses or the corporations to whom you're accusing. The only way you can make a claim like that is if you know internally what their books are, which you don't. So now you're resorting to talking points and claims which are ultimately baseless because you don't have insider information. So what that tells me is either A, you have no idea what you're talking about, B, you're hoping that these progressive talking points will perk up the ears of the lemmings that believe you out there because you like to pit the different classes of Americans against one another, or C, a little bit of both, and I'm more inclined to believe that it's C. If you stuck around and listened to this entire thing, I cannot say how appreciative I am of you, for doing so. You didn't have to do that. Please listen to it, share it to your friends, take it to heart. If you've learned anything from this, please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said earlier, please send this to your friends. I need all the help I can get with expanding this channel, and that's what I would truly love to do, but I can't do it without you. So, once again, at the risk of sounding like a parrot, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around. Have a good day, and take care.